The economy is effed all the way effed. And Trump is very concerned. Not really about the economy and not about you or your family, but he's very concerned that you might blame him for it because he's guilty. He put out this message on True Social saying, "This is Biden's stock market, not Trump's. I didn't take over until January 20th. Tariffs will soon start kicking in and companies are starting to move in the USA in record numbers. Our country will boom, but we have to get rid of the Biden overhang. This will take a while. Has nothing to do with tariffs, only that he left us with bad numbers. But when the boom begins, it will be like no other. Be patient." Okay, so I understand he has to put out something. Like, I'm begging you, dude. Stop making it so clear what's really going on in your messages. It's the tariffs. You can't say he left us bad numbers when your numbers are way worse. Those were comparatively good numbers, okay? I remember because the stock market is down from those numbers. It's not an overhang, it's a plummet. You are plummeting from the numbers that we had under Joe Biden. And I wanna remind everyone of something. So he has been president for 100 days now. And despite that, Biden's responsible if the economy isn't doing well. 100 days after Biden is no longer president, Biden's responsible. And I want to remind everyone that over a year ago, January 29th, 2024, when the stock market was doing much better, he claimed credit for that. He wouldn't even be, election days, almost a year away at that point. He said, "This is the Trump stock market." So this is how it works. Almost a year before you're president, it's your stock market. 100 days after you're president, it's the other guy's stock market. Just to be clear, is there like, I know MAGA people, you like to live in a bubble or whatever, but if you're watching this, I want you to type into the comments that makes sense to you. That Trump gets credit for a good stock market way before he's president, and he doesn't deserve blame way after he's president. I want you to type that out, okay? And by the way, no one's gonna see your face. They won't know that you're crying as you do it, but I want you to type it and pretend that that's something you believe. Absolute madness. And why is he freaking out now in particular? I mean, the stock market's been doing terribly all year. Well, it's because the Q1 numbers for the economy have come out, and the economy, it turns out, didn't grow. I'm gonna say ungrew. It degrewed, it shrunk. Our economy is smaller than it was before he was president. Take a look at this chart. Now, in 2022, depths of the pandemic and everything, it also shrunk very briefly. And then we were fairly consistent. The economy was growing 2.5, 3% quarterly GDP growth. Again, during all that time that Trump was saying the economy was unacceptably bad. And then he comes in and instantly it's far worse. And what has changed? You tell me. No, we don't do rhetorical questions here. What has changed? Trump and his tariffs and the constant chaos and the threats and the destroying our alliances and making the world hate us, all of that. So how do you get from consistent growth to all of a sudden degrowing? Donald Trump has demonstrated it. And he assured us that he knows why it happened in that message when he pretended that it wasn't due to the tariffs. Sharon, what do you think?
I think the CIA needs to look into him because he could be the most successful like double agent for another country sent here to ruin America. That's like the only explanation here for the moves he's made. You have China after Donald Trump says, "I've been talking to them," and there's about 30 to 40 deals. He said something like that. And then China says, "Stop lying. We haven't been talking to you." Okay, Scott Bessent says, "Oh, I have one deal that we've negotiated." And then Trump saying, this is madness here, okay? It's just sheer madness. Yeah. I honestly believe that if you set out to write a novel about how to destroy America, and you had one like, the dark character who the universe needs to fight to neutralize, it's this guy. It's this guy, okay?
I'm gonna write that novel. I think
it'd be great, okay?
Anyway, and look, we're gonna get to the copium in a second to just have a little bit of fun, but we recently learned as a nation that sometimes if you make fun of people enough, they'll leave government. It worked with Elon Musk. So can we just bring up graphic 16 once again? Because this chart, Trump, if you're watching, I just want you to see, this is the legacy. This is what you have brought us. Generally growth, not enough growth, not equitable enough growth, but growth. And now we have that little red hanging thing at the end. And look, buddy, your tiny dangling little thing has ruined your marriage, but now it's a real problem for America. That's the stock market. That's people's wages. People are losing jobs. Businesses are gonna shut down because of your tiny little hanging, dangling little economic return on investment. And I think it's pathetic. But there are other ways to look at it. Peter Navarro is gonna try to deliver some wild copium. Listen to this.
When you strip out inventories and the negative effects of the surge in imports because of the tariffs, you had 3% growth. So we really like where we're at now.
He said that if you remove the effect of the tariffs, we'd be up 3%. The only way that can be read is the tariffs have taken what could have been 3% growth, which would have been in line with the previous months or quarters, and made it negative. So apparently the tariffs have cost us in 100 days like 3.5% of our economy. So that is Peter Navarro saying Trump's message, it's not about the tariffs, is wrong. Now Peter Navarro is trying to somehow make that a positive, but he is saying don't be mad about the economy. It's just been wrecked by tariffs. And doesn't that make you feel better? It doesn't actually make me feel better, Sharon. What do you make of this?
Peter Navarro is like the close talker at a cocktail party with stale breath, who is spewing conspiracy theories and alternative facts. Suddenly everyone has to go find their partner or use the restroom. It's, you are the reason this happened. And the fact that he's mic'd up there, and I didn't pay attention to where he was talking, but I can probably guess. And he's being interviewed as if he has real things to say that are worthwhile and indeed perhaps life-changing for Americans is gross and actually comedy. It's just comedy. Yeah. He actually believes in himself, okay? This guy, it's a farce.
That was like, I think if Carolyn Leavitt has to leave, I think he should take over. It's a wild rewriting of history. If you enjoyed that, make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming an actual member. But you're probably wondering, why the hell would I do that, John? First off, calm down. The stakes in this are very, very low. But also, when you click the join button and you become a member, you get access to bonus content that I make every week, and it's a ton of fun. You get access to tons of custom emojis and more besides that. By the way, if you join at tier 3, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself and other awesome people, and we always have a great time. By the way, you'll get all that going forward, but you also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips, top 10 lists, debates, and more. What are you waiting for? Click the join button below. Your support powers our show, and we couldn't do it without you. Or at the very least, I wouldn't really want to try. Viewers like you keep me here. So thank you in advance for joining.